Welcome back, Warriors, to another episode of Bigger Warriors 2. And I wanted to do a couple of these other ones before I took off. Hope you guys are having a great morning. And once again, thank you for all the comments, the likes, and subscriptions. I try to do is provide the best information that I can in trying to get people to be healthier, wealthier, and spiritually strong. And so I always like to kind of look at some quotes. And one of my favorite people, again, is Epictetus. And Epictetus' comment in this one is interesting. It says, only the educated are free. And that means that you have to really get the knowledge. And this is why we go to school, we kind of learn things. Now, education means to know. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to just go to college. You can get a lot of information a lot of different ways. I happen to have a doctorate and went through many years of schooling, but I also realized that I still didn't know half the stuff I should have, even after all that schooling I went to. And I went to school for almost 30 years, right? So I realized that learning takes a lot more than just kind of reading a book or just going to school. So I learned a lot of that, and I continue to learn by reading and doing different things and focusing on other types of things I look at. So this topic we're going to talk about goes back to one that I did before on the book The Fountain of Youth. So The Fountain of Youth is a great book, and I would highly recommend that. And we talked about that when it came to the book review. But I'm going to kind of go over a little bit more about the actual book and the exercises. I won't demonstrate them. I may do that in another video. But let's kind of talk about it a little bit. Once again, this book kind of focuses on the Tibetan tribes and focusing on what they did to actually kind of continue to stay youthful. And once again, one of the key things was the chakras. And the chakras, we kind of showed a picture of it the last time, and we kind of go back and look at it a little bit more. So if you look at the chakras, there's 7 of them that they talk about as being really important types of things to look at in your body, okay? And you can kind of look at those and kind of see, and we talk about the 6th and 7th one up in the head, and then the 5th one is here, 4th is here, the 3rd is in the middle, and down here 2 and 1. And obviously 1 and 2 we talk about a lot because we talk about retention, but there's a lot of different types of things to this. So the basic idea, and I started this in 1998, the basic idea is that you're trying to kind of keep those chakras moving. And what happens when people get older, the idea is that those energy forces, and I call them energy forces, which is why I talk about energy all the time, right? The energy forces tend to swirl, and this is kind of what creates a lot of your movement and those energy type forces within you, the vital force that I call it. So the vital force has 7 different types of areas to it that you look at the human body. And so in order to stay young, theoretically, you have to kind of keep those going. And a lot of times when we get older, we tend not to do that because we don't have the same type of activity that we had when we were younger. When we're younger, we're running around doing lots of things, and so we don't have really a lot of time to kind of focus on exercise and things like that. And so we're not trying to bring back the same types of things that we used to. Sorry, but my dog is barking in the background there. So the chakras are something we have to kind of keep going and looking at. And so as you do more exercises, as you focus on this, you're really kind of looking at trying to build the chakras, okay? And so the chakras continue to swirl and move around as you go through it. And so as you do this more and more, you're going to kind of keep focusing on exercising and doing this. So the 7 chakras really are important, and that's kind of the key to a lot of the exercises. So let's kind of look at a couple of the exercises first, and there's 5 of these, plus I'll talk about the 6th one in a couple minutes. So the first one really talks about you're basically like a ballet dancer. And what you're doing is you're basically kind of standing with your arms outstretched and your palms facing downward, and you spin around in a clockwise direction. Now the key to these things are to do 21 of these things. If you can build yourself up, it may sound kind of silly, but building yourself up takes time, because you will start spinning unless you focus on something in that room. When you start spinning like straight ahead, you're going to get dizzy after a while. I guarantee you, if you haven't done this before, you will get dizzy. I started doing these 23 years ago, and I still, when I do a lot of them, and they call those the whirling dervishes that do a lot of those type of things, then you can actually get to the point where you're actually kind of dizzy. And so I would be careful, especially if you're older like I am in my age group. Take it slow and kind of work yourself building up. So that's the first one. The second one is actually laying on the ground, okay? And what you're doing is you're basically kind of bringing your head up, your arms straight out, your to your side, your legs straight out, and then you lift it up, and then lift your neck up at the same time, and then you lift down, okay? So you lie flat on the back with both your arms stretched by your side. Bring your chin to your chest. Lift your legs a vertical position, keeping your knees straight. Once again, doing 21 of these things are very important, okay? So the idea is that as you do these, now you would do those back to back right away. The third one is sitting with your knees on the floor, with your body upright, and this is kind of the picture I have of it, right? And you actually kind of put your head down, and then you put your hands and against your thighs, okay? And then you bring your chin to your chest, right? And then you're going to lean back, right? Using your arms to help you. And so you're going to arch your spine as gently move your head backwards and as far as it will go. So you're basically doing this, and obviously the work on the back is going to help you a lot with that. And so you're front, and then you go back, okay? So that is number 3. Then immediately after that, you would do number 4. Now you're going to be sitting down with your legs outstretched, so like this, right? Number 4, you're sitting stretched like that, and then your arms are next to you, and so then you're going to tuck your head in, and chin to your chest, okay? And then let your head sink back as far as it will go when you look at that, okay? And then you will raise your hands and your legs. And once again, you're going to do 21 of these. Now the key, and I'd forgotten about this, the breathing part of it, you have to kind of breathe in as you do this, and then breathe out as you lift, okay? And so, you know, keeping your arms straight and hands, feet in place, bend your knees, and raise the trunk of your body to a horizontal position. Tense your muscles, and then relax, okay? Once again, I'd highly recommend this book, but I'm kind of giving you kind of a synopsis, a little bit of the ideas, exercises, okay? And then number 5 is almost like they used to call the dog type of maneuver. Okay, so basically what you're doing is you're kind of focusing on, put your hands out and your legs out like this, almost like a push-up type of stance. And then you're going to lift your head up, straight up, raise your body, and then kind of go back the other way and go forward, okay? So what you're basically doing is support your body in a sagging position with your arms straight, your hands planted on the floor, and your toes curled up. Gently move your head back as far as it will go. And then keeping your hands and feet in place, bend at the hips and bring your body into an inverted V position. And bring your chins forward to your chest, okay? Once again, the same breathing pattern applies. So you're going to go ahead and breathe in deeply as you raise your body, and then breathe out as you lower it, okay? I'm going to go ahead and focus on this a lot of different times, but I kind of want to look at this way. So I would start off with 3 at a time, right? So do three of each one the first week. It shouldn't take you that more than 10 minutes or so. But you're going to find that doing some of these is taking your time and doing it the right way takes some time, you know, and it's not as easy as you may think, right? Now, you're younger guys, you're going to be able to do a lot of this easier than obvious as you get older if you haven't exercised. But for those who have never exercised and haven't done this in a long time, these are things you can kind of do each day. And so I would kind of start with 3 for each one of these, right? And then continue to just kind of build up until you get to 21. According to what they're saying in the book, that after you do 21, you don't see as much benefits after that. Certainly you can continue doing it. Like I do spins for a long time. And just kind of, you get a certain type of energy flow once that happens. Okay. And then number 6 is one that you can become a superhuman with. And what do you think that is? Well, of course, when we do number 6, number 6 really is your retention. So this is the exercise they talk about here. And this is really kind of, in all the 5 that I've used for many, many years, and they actually kind of kept me in a good youthful position that I feel good, and a lot of things that I had, knee injuries, eczema, things like that went away. But the thing was, I still struggled with some things because I wasn't doing number 6. And number 6 really kind of talks about doing this. This has to happen when you feel some level of excitement. And when you do that, then you have to go ahead and take a standing position, breathe out deeply, right? Okay. Then you would bend over and prop your hands on your knees, okay? And force out one last trace of air. All right, and then you turn to standing position, put your hands on your hips, and press down, forcing the shoulders up. So what you're doing is you're transmuting. You have that energy in the chakras 1 and 2, and you're sending it upwards, right? Place your hands on your hips and press down, forcing shoulders up. Pull up in your abdomen and raise your chest, and hold as long as possible. So breathing in, and then breathe in deeply through your nose at the same time, and then breathe out through your mouth. And do this several times until you actually end up stopping the temptation. So here again, number 6 is a key one when it comes to retention. This is the whole idea. And once I started doing this, then all of a sudden, things changed around, and I actually kind of raised the level of my awareness and health and those type of things. So I would definitely recommend these kind of exercises that you're doing. And once again, these are 6 of them. I would start with the 5 if you haven't done any of this at all. Start with the 5, and then on your journey, once again, add number 6 to it as you go along. Now, the book also talks about a lot of great things when it comes to food and different types of things like don't mix starches and proteins. I think that's a great type of thing. We do this a lot, especially in the Western world. We mix like hamburgers and meat and buns together, and that's the worst thing you can do for your stomach. I mean, I felt that myself at times too, so you want to kind of stay that way. They're also recommending eating one type of food at a time, like if you're going to not clash foods together in your system. They talk about how the digestion system is affected by that. So for instance, you may just have nothing but cooked vegetables and fruit. And another meal you might have bread, and not another meal you could have different types of things. Now I've done more keto stuff over the last 400 and some days, and that's helped because I had too much carbs in me. So I've kind of reduced a lot of that, and that seems to be helping for me. Okay. So those are things that are really important. Now there's also different types of things for your throat and things, but I think I'll leave it at that. All right, so hope this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Until next time, battle on.